सो विल टॉक अबाउट द मोस्ट कॉमन मेडिकल इमरजेंसीज. मैं सारी नहीं पढ़ाऊँगा क्योंकि बहुत लंबा हो जाएगा. एंड दैट विल बी डिवाइडेड इनटू 2 पार्ट्स. आज करेंगे थोड़ा, बाकी का कल करेंगे. ओके. So first of all, I'll start with that you should never treat a patient who is a stranger to you. Okay, stranger as in ऐसा नहीं बोल रहा हूँ कि आप बस अपने family members and friends का treatment करोगे. No, you should take a proper case history, medical history of the patient. You should know ins and out of the patient's medical history. If you know the patient's medical history, suppose patient has a history of heart attack a few months back, 6 months or 7 months. So you would anticipate that patient might have some anginal pain or myocardial infarction pain. Okay. Whenever you try to look out for a complication, you tend to avoid it. जब आप देख रहे हो कि ये हो सकता है, that is when you are very careful to avoid that situation. Okay. So for that you need to know the medical history, personal history of the patient. Okay. Now, of course, for every medical emergency, majority of the medical emergencies, they occur because of the stress. Okay. पेशेंट को डर लगता है. पेशेंट इज वेरी अफ्रेड ऑफ द डेंटल सेटिंग. सो स्ट्रेस प्रेसिपिटेट्स इनटू फाइट एंड फ्लाइट रिस्पॉन्स. विल टॉक अबाउट ऑल दिस लेटर ऑन. बट most of the medical emergencies, they are caused by stress. Okay, in a dental setup, I'm talking about dental setup. बाकी जगहों पे there are many other reasons, we're not talking about those. Okay, so if you want to prevent generalized any medical emergency, the first step is to reduce stress. Okay, so उसमें क्या होगा, make sure the patient gets a proper sleep one night before the surgery or any appointment. During the procedure, have a good communication with the patient. Okay, keep talking to the patient. Avoid using words like it won't hurt or there won't be any pain. ऐसा नहीं बोलना है. Try to use words like discomfort. If you're injecting LA, just mention that it might be slightly uncomfortable to you. Pain बोलोगे तो वो बहुत ज़्यादा पेन सोचेगा. When you say uncomfortable, it is when the patient experiences it. He's not anticipating कि बहुत सारा पेन. Needle pain is not that of a threat. बहुत ज़्यादा पेन नहीं होता है. मैंने भी 4 बार लिया हुआ है, 4 दांत निकलवाए. So it is not that big of a thing. But patient इतना anticipate करता है that so much stress is built up. Psychological stress is building up in his mind. So क्या होगा, that will lead to vasovagal syncope. Okay, so we have to avoid that. Good communication is the key, and of course the procedure should be as less painful as possible. Ideally painless, but जितना हो सके minimal pain should be there. Then of course the procedure. Suppose the patient comes to you for the first time. ठीक है, so you won't start directly with the difficult part of the procedure. Suppose you have planned multiple tooth extractions. Okay, थोड़े anterior से, some are impacted teeth. So what you're going to do is you're going to extract the easier teeth first at the first seating. Okay, so that the patient gets comfortable with you कि हाँ ये अच्छे से करेगा, इससे प्रॉब्लम नहीं आएगी. Okay, so once the patient is comfortable with you, he'll be more cooperative. He'll have less stress in the next appointment when you're going to do a difficult procedure. Okay, and try to keep the appointment as short as possible. Okay, यहाँ पे तो 2-3 घंटे तक पेशेंट पे काम करते हैं, but in the clinical setting you are not allowed to do that. पेशेंट तो चढ़ के मारेगा. Okay, as mentioned, short procedures and least duration. And if you feel that the patient is too apprehensive, he's too afraid of the procedure, so recall the patient next day and one night before. And in case of overtly apprehensive patient, immediately before, half an hour before the surgery, you can give oral sedatives like diazepam, alprazolam, midazolam. Okay, so this was the stress reduction protocol. This has to be followed for every patient, not only in the patient जहाँ पे आपको लग रहा है that the patient is very apprehensive. No, do it with every patient. Then we come to the most common medical emergencies in a dental clinic. Okay, so these are vasovagal syncope, hyperventilation, acute adrenal insufficiency, chest pain that is angina and myocardial infarction, anaphylaxis, hypo and hyperglycemia, and airway obstruction. So today we are going to we're going to talk about the top 4. That is vasovagal, hyperventilation, acute adrenal insufficiency and chest pain. Heavy होने वाला है, be prepared. Okay, So in case of any emergency, when at least in this presentation, in this discussion, when I talk about an emergency, we need to know about one thing, three things actually. First is how it happens, कैसे होता है, what to do when it happens, okay? That is the management part, okay? So a good doctor knows how to manage an emergency, but a great doctor knows how to avoid it, how to prevent it, okay? होने ही नहीं देना है, okay? So that is the third part, how to avoid it. And in medical terms, first is pathophysiology, second is management, and third is how to avoid, that is prevention, okay? Now we come to the first medical emergency and the most common medical emergency in dental clinic, that is vasovagal syncope, okay? At least after this discussion, you will be clear about vasovagal syncope कैसे होता है. But before that, we have to go through some basics first. Now tell me, how is the blood pressure regulated? Let's talk about this. How can the blood pressure go down? What can be the reasons? I'm not talking about diseases, anything. Directly, veins में, blood vessels में क्या होता है, heart में क्या होता है, what can, vasodilation होगा, that will lead to lowering of blood pressure. What can, heart से related, what can be the reason? Yeah, so heart pumps. Heart is like a motor. Like it is pushing blood out of the heart and into the veins, into the pipes, एक तरह से बोल सकते हो, right? So if the force of contraction is less, आराम से push कर रहा है, तो the force with which the pressure with which the blood is pushed out is less. That is one. उससे blood pressure कम हुआ. Now that is one thing. Second is if the number of contractions per minute decreases, तब भी the amount of blood being pushed out is reduced. Okay, so this number of contraction is heartbeats. Okay, pulse. Huh? So peripheral vasodilation, okay, number of contractions, that is heartbeat, is reduced, or the force of contraction is reduced. All these three things can lead to lowering of blood pressure, that is hypotension. समझ आया? Yes. है ना? Now ये क्या है? Brain है. So our brain is our brain along with our heart, it is active throughout our life. Even when we sleep, the brain is active. That is why we dream. Okay. So now the brain is only 2% of our body mass, but it takes around 60%, 65% of total body glucose and 20% of total body oxygen. इतू सा है, but it takes up this much. It has this much requirements. Okay. So for some reason, there is compromised oxygen supply or compromised glucose supply. या फिर if there is there is compromised blood supply to the brain. So both of these are hampered, right? The carrier, the transport medium is the blood. So if there is not enough blood supply to the brain, ये दोनों ही कम हो जाएगा. Okay, and that will lead to, especially in case of oxygen, that will lead to reduction in oxygen in the brain. That will lead to ischemia and necrosis. Cell death होगा. Okay, if there is persistent reduced blood supply. Okay, समझ आया इतना? Okay. Now there's one more thing. When we stand, अभी मैं जब खड़ा हूँ, so I am standing against the gravity, right? Now when the heart pushes the blood towards the brain, the blood is going against gravity. Now gravity is pulling the blood down, but the heart is pushing the blood up to the brain. Okay, so the gravity is hampering the blood supply to some limit to the brain, right? Whereas in the periphery, it is towards the gravity. So there is some pooling of the blood in the extremities, especially in the legs and to some extent in the hands also. Okay. Now that is why if you remember in your third year BDS surgery में varicose veins, it is more common in the professionals who have a long standing periods. In those patients they have varicose vein क्योंकि वहाँ पे blood pooling है, pressure बढ़ता है, so the blood vessels they dilate, right? याद आया varicose vein? So यहाँ पे तो नहीं दिख रहा ना, मैसेज आता हूँ. So basically we discussed how blood pressure is lowered. These are all the basics right now. We are not going into the pathophysiology of the vasovagal syncope. Then when the person is standing, the blood goes to the brain against gravity and there is peripheral pooling. Okay, यहाँ पे blood collect हो रहा है, so less blood is going to the heart, right? When we are standing. Now we come to the actual pathophysiology. Now, as I told you, the patient is usually stressed, when the patient comes at a dental clinic. That is a psychological stress, not a physical stress. हम उससे fighting नहीं कर रहे हैं, right? मारपीट नहीं कर रहे हैं, patient बस डर रहा है. Okay? Now our body thinks it that we still live in the pre-civilization era. Okay, so वो time पे the humans they had only two jobs. One, hunt for the food, और जान बचा के भागना, right, from the other animals who are more dangerous than human. Okay, so that is either fight for the food or run away or flight from the danger. Okay, so whenever we have stress, the brain can't differentiate between the physical or the psychological stress. So it goes into something called as fight or flight response. Okay, that means that the body is getting itself ready for a physically intensive task. Even if we fight, we need more oxygen and more energy. Okay, and the skeletal muscles, they need to work at a higher than normal intensity. So their oxygen and glucose demand increases, and because of that, the demand of blood increases in the peripheral skeletal muscles. Right? समझ आया इतना? So that is one thing. The same goes with the flight, running. Even that is a physically intensive task. Okay, so in both the cases we need a higher energy, higher oxygen amount. Okay, so our body prepares itself for fight and flight response. How does our body prepare for the fight and flight response? Any idea? Okay, what do you mean by catecholamines? Yeah, okay, that is not the only thing. I'll tell you. So fight and flight response में are adrenal glands. These are situated superior to the kidneys. Okay, they release aldosterone and cortisol and epinephrine and norepinephrine. Now aldosterone क्या करता है? It increases water retention in the kidneys. Okay, I forgot to mention one point. 1 second. So there is increase in oxygen and glucose demand. And to meet with this higher demand, the heart rate is increased. Okay, तो उससे क्या होगा? Higher perfusion pressure is there. Higher perfusion pressure यानी the muscles they need more blood in them. Okay, so vessels तो एक लिमिट तक ही रहती हैं, blood vessels. So when there is higher blood pressure, so the blood is forced into the tissue. Okay, that is called as perfusion pressure. कम होगा तो blood supply भी कम होगी, ऐसा है. Okay, now we come to this again. So aldosterone it causes increased water retention in kidneys, and that water that is retented in the body is added back to the blood, right? Okay, now blood में हम पानी ऐड करेंगे. In case suppose saline कर रहे हैं ऐड, तो क्या होगा? Volume increases of the blood, so blood pressure increases. So aldosterone helps in increasing the blood pressure. 1. Okay, epinephrine and norepinephrine they causes peripheral vasoconstriction, right? So that is also going to help with the increase in blood pressure. Okay, so these two things are causing increase in blood pressure. Now blood pressure का तो handle हो गया कि blood pressure ज़्यादा करना था. Okay, now there is increased demand of glucose. Okay, energy. So what cortisol does is, it is a steroid. It increases the blood glucose level. Okay, so now our body, the adrenal glands, they release aldosterone, cortisol, epinephrine and norepinephrine. Aldosterone and epinephrine they causes the increase in blood pressure, whereas cortisol causes increase in blood sugar level. समझ आया इतना? है ना? So यार, so the same thing what I explained just a few seconds back. Okay, समझ आया इतना? And of course peripheral vasoconstriction के साथ there is increased force of contraction and number of contraction are also increased. So blood pressure increases. Okay, now blood pressure increase हो गया, but there is no actual physical threat. Okay, अब याद रखो. Now blood pressure increases. Now we have something called as baroreceptors in our body. One baroreceptor is located at arch of aorta and another is located at the carotid sinus. Okay, now they as the name suggests, baroreceptors, they sense increase or decrease in pressure, blood pressure. Okay, so if I show you, so you can see carotid sinus, it is present at the bifurcation of the common carotid artery. Okay, at the internal carotid artery, just after the bifurcation. Okay, so यस, किसका टर्न है, जल्दी जाओ. हाँ, so we have the carotid sinus and we have the arch of aorta. Now these two things, these two places, they sense, okay, blood pressure is increased a lot. So they sense a signal to the medulla oblongata, the cardiovascular centers in medulla oblongata. So now the CNS, it senses there is no actual physical threat, but the blood pressure is increasing. So उससे क्या होगा, the cardiovascular centers, they send out a signal to the vagus nerve and it releases a something called as acetylcholine neurotransmitter. Okay, now this acetylcholine goes and binds to the cardiac muscles, myocardium of the heart. Now इससे क्या होगा, it causes decrease in force of contraction and it reduces the number of force of contractions. Okay, and also it causes peripheral vasodilation. So basically all the things that cause the increase in blood pressure, that is reversed. Okay, now the patient is standing and all the things are reversed. Okay, peripheral vasodilation हो गया, there is reduced force of contraction and reduced number of contractions, that is reduced heartbeat, reduced pulse. You can say it's like vagus nerve saying to the heart, all is well, all is well, right? Okay, so again acetylcholine from vagus nerve, cardiac muscles, and reduce heart rate of contraction. Now the patient is still standing, suppose. Okay, there is peripheral vasodilation, so there is further peripheral pooling of the blood in the extremities. Okay, now there is less return of the blood to the heart and there is the force of contraction is less, so less amount of blood is forced out of the heart, right? So less amount reaches the brain and that too it travels against gravity. Further reduction of blood supply to the brain. समझ आया इतना कैसे ब्रेन को ब्लड सप्लाई कम हो रही है, yes or no? Okay, समझ आया इतना? Okay, so अब क्या होगा, the brain, it senses there is less blood supply, so either if it continues working, there will be permanent cell damage. So brain shuts down. Brain shuts down, what happens is loss of motor control is there, muscle control नहीं रहता, patient falls down. Okay, that is a good thing. Why? Because when the patient falls down, the blood now it is not flowing against gravity, so more amount of blood is being flown back to the heart and heart pushes the and heart pushes that blood to the brain and that blood is not flowing against gravity, so the blood supply to the brain is restored. Okay, समझ आया? So it is a good thing for the patient in a sense कि वो मरेगा नहीं. But if suppose I go into syncope and गिर के यहाँ पे सर मार लिया, that is not a good thing. Okay, but in the sense that the patient won't die, there won't be any permanent damage. Okay, that is how syncope is a good thing. It is a protective mechanism of the body. Okay, समझ आया इतना? So अब formalize करेंगे pathophysiology. So first there is stress, then we have the fight and flight response, then we have the release of cortisol, aldosterone, epinephrine, norepinephrine. That leads to increase in blood sugar level and hypertension and tachycardia. Number of contractions increases, heartbeat बढ़ जाता है, तो that is tachycardia. Okay, that leads to baroreceptors sensing the change in blood pressure. Increase in blood pressure is there, so it sends the signal to the cardiovascular centers in the medulla oblongata, and all that leads to vagus nerve रिलीजिंग एसिटाइलकोलिन. इतना याद रखो, आप ज़्यादा डिटेल में नहीं जाना है कौन से रिसेप्टर पे कहाँ पे अटैच हो रहा है. जस्ट रिमेंबर एसिटाइलकोलिन इज रिलीज्ड एंड दैट कॉजेज ब्रैडिकार्डिया, रिड्यूस नंबर ऑफ कॉन्ट्रैक्शंस एंड रिड्यूस फोर्स ऑफ कॉन्ट्रैक्शन एंड पेरिफेरल वेजोडाइलेशन. दैट लीड्स टू hypotension, peripheral pooling, and finally reduced blood supply to the brain is there. So brain shuts down and there is loss of consciousness and the patient falls down. As the patient falls down, the blood flows. Now the blood is not flowing against gravity, so the blood supply to the brain is restored and the patient regains consciousness. समझ आया इतना? मैंने बोला था heavy रहेगा आज. Okay? So now we understand how it happens. Now we come to the thing, what to do if it happens. क्या हुआ? What happened? फोटो क्यों लेना है? ले लो, जल्दी लो लेना है तो, या फिर मैं स्क्रीनशॉट भेज दूं. हो गया? ओके, चलो चलो चलो. नाउ वी कम टू व्हाट टू डू व्हेन द emergency occurs. In this case, vasovagal syncope. in any medical emergency, we follow this protocol PCABD. Position, circulation, airway, breathing, definitive treatment, right? Definite treatment. पहले it was PABCD. In 2010, it was changed by American Heart Association to PCABD because, like, if you guys you guys can breathe, hold your breath for 1.5 minutes. बहुत लोग 2-3 मिनट भी रख लेते हैं. Okay, so that clears the fact that we can live without oxygen for some duration, but blood supply बंद हुआ तो सब बंद हो जाए because even if we stop breathing, there is some oxygen molecules attached to the hemoglobin in our blood. If the blood is circulating, there will still be blood supply to the different parts of the body, even the brain, right? Even if we stop breathing for some time, right? है ना? So that is why circulation is more important. So that is why it was changed. Okay? So suppose if the patient goes into syncope, क्या करेंगे? First position. What is the position if the patient goes? What is the name? Okay, so you mean to say this? है ना? Wrong. Trendelenburg position, yes, many of the authors, they say Trendelenburg position is preferred, but I'll give you explanation why this is not preferred. Okay? Now let's talk about some anatomy first. So you know, these are lungs. Okay, lungs के नीचे you can see the blue color. This is diaphragm. It is a muscle layer, and उसके नीचे we have all the content of the abdomen, liver, stomach, intestines, right? Now suppose if the patient goes into Trendelenburg position, all the content of the abdomen is pushed against the lungs. The patient will have difficult time breathing, right? है ना? Animation भी मैंने डाला हुआ है. Let me show you. Okay, so if the patient is in the Trendelenburg position, the diaphragm and the content is pushed against the lungs, and the patient will have difficult time breathing. Okay, so ideal position is the head should be at the heart level, at the level of heart, same line में, and the feet should be elevated. Why? When the feet are elevated, वो जो peripheral pooling of blood है, we increase the venous return. So the blood returning to the heart is increased, and that blood is pushed to the brain, and the patient regains consciousness. समझ आया? Common sense? ये कब समझ आएगा पता है? जब आपको पैथोफिजियोलॉजी अच्छे से समझ आएगा. Okay? Now suppose if the patient is pregnant. Patient is pregnant, mostly it is not vasovagal syncope, there is something else, I forgot the name, orthostatic hypotension of pregnancies, या ऐसा कुछ नाम था. Anyways, so if the patient, pregnant lady is lying down, especially in the 3rd trimester, normally, तो क्या होगा? On the left side we have the inferior vena cava, that is being compressed by the fetus. Okay, this is the vertebra, this is the fetus, बीच में है inferior vena cava. Okay. So it is compressed. So the lumen is reduced. So the amount of blood coming to the heart is reduced. So the amount of blood being pushed out of the heart is reduced. So बाकी parts को brain को the blood supply is compromised. Okay. So when we ask the patient to take a lateral position, preferably right lateral, because this is on the left side, inferior vena cava. When the patient moves on the right lateral side, inferior vena cava opens up and the blood supply to the heart. The venous return to the heart is increased, okay, and the blood supply to the brain is restored, and the patient regains consciousness. समझ आया इतना? Now position is done. Now we come to circulation part. If the patient is unconscious, सबसे पहले position तो कर ही दी हमने. Of course, before that you have to stop the dental treatment. ऐसा नहीं है patient बेहोश है आप अपना काम कर रहे हो. No, okay. Position, stop the treatment, take the instruments out, and position the patient appropriately, and then check the patient's vitals. देखेंगे. Yes, in this case first we have to check whether the heart is working or not. Okay, that is circulation, pulse. Okay, preferable area to check the pulse in case of emergency is carotid. Okay, and if that is not आपको नहीं आता या for some reason it is not easily accessible, then you can go for radial pulse. Okay, suppose if you don't feel any pulse, क्या करेंगे? हॉस्पिटल ले जाएंगे. CPR करेंगे, right? Okay, so we initiate the CPR protocol. Okay, CPR is cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Okay, so in this what we do is I'm sorry, elbows straight रहेंगे हमेशा, and your movement is at the hip level. सो व्हेन वी अप्लाई प्रेशर द होल अपर बॉडी, उसका पूरा वेट पेशेंट की चेस्ट पे डालना होता है फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, ठीक है। हमें हाथ से प्रेस नहीं करना है, हमें इतनी स्ट्रेंथ नहीं कि पूरा स्टर्नम दबा दे। यू हैव टू अप्लाई द होल बॉडी वेट फर्स्ट एंड योर फिंगर शुड बी इंटरमिंगल्ड, ओके। I think I have a photo. Okay, and the location where we are supposed to apply pressure is at the middle of the sternum or at the lower edge. Okay, नीचे रहेगा उतना अच्छा, but not at the xiphoid process. This is a cartilage actually. ये fracture होगा, that might impinge into the other structure, further aggravation of the pain. Okay, pain होगा patient को. So you can use xiphoid process as a landmark, but not apply pressure over the xiphoid process, okay, either at the lower end or at the middle of the sternum, okay. Again, the diagram shows your elbows should be straight and you're going to apply whole body force, okay, पूरा body weight इसके ऊपर डालोगे above the hip region, okay. So if and the fingers are intermingled, okay. समझ आया कैसे compressions देने? Now I'm going to show you a video and you tell me ki whether CPR being given is correct or not. बहुत गलत कर रहे हो ना, even the fingers are not right, elbow bent है, नहीं इसके आगे कट हो जाएगा, don't worry. Okay, so we have a video now. You can see the movement is being done at the hip level, the whole body weight is being put on the patient's chest. Okay, so we are supposed to give 100 to 120 compressions per minute, okay. And patient chest 2 से 2.5 इंच अंदर तक दबा देना है पूरा, okay. In fact ज़्यादा प्रेशर स्लाइटली ज़्यादा लगा दिया, दैट इज़ फाइन, इवन फ्रैक्चर भी हुआ, बट डोंट अप्लाई इट एट द रिब्स आर वेरी वीक, वो इजीली फ्रैक्चर हो जाएगा थोड़े भी प्रेशर से. यू अप्लाई द प्रेशर एट द स्टर्नम. ओके, so what we are doing is basically we are increasing the pressure in this area so that heart automatically gets compressed, and when it is compressed, okay, so blood is pushed out. When we release the pressure inside the heart is relieved, so blood is pulled in. Okay, so heart का काम हम कर रहे हैं, ऐसा है. Now we come to the airway. Now first of all you have to make sure there's no foreign body in the patient's oral cavity. Okay. I'm sorry. So we'll talk about all of that in the airway obstruction part, but abhi ke liye make sure there is no foreign body in the patient's oral cavity. Okay, once you are sure of that, and the patient is unconscious, क्या होगा? Patient loses motor control over the muscles. So our tongue is the muscle, it falls back and it blocks the airway. So आपको क्या करना है? One method is head tilt and chin lift. पकड़ के पीछे कर दो, इसको चिन से ऊंचा कर दो, इससे पुल करेंगे एंटीरियरली. ठीक है, सो इसको भी पुल किया, पीछे भी कर दिया. सो एयरवे ओपन्स अप एंड द पेशेंट कैन ब्रीथ. ओके, दैट इज वन. अगर ये नहीं करना है, व्हाट यू कैन डू इज मेक द पेशेंट लाई लेफ्ट लैटरल और राइट लैटरल. इंपॉर्टेंट इज लैटरल सो दैट द टंग डजंट फॉल बैक इनटू द थ्रोट, साइड में रहेगा. सिंपल. यहाँ पे ग्रेविटी इज प्लेइंग अ मेजर रोल. ओके, पेशेंट इज नॉट कंट्रोलिंग एनीथिंग. एक बार बेहोश हो गया तो, है ना. सो we have secured the patient's airway. Suppose there is airway obstruction and we are not able to retrieve the foreign object जो भी था. So what we can do is we can go for cricothyrotomy or tracheostomy. Okay. Again we'll talk about that in airway obstruction. Okay. Now suppose we have secured the patient's airway. Now we have to check whether the patient is breathing or not. Okay. How do we check whether the patient is breathing or not? We keep our ear near the patient's mouth. Okay. उससे क्या होगा? We'll be able to hear patient breathing. One. Second, patient is breathing, the warm air is going to hit your ear. Okay. So first we listen for the patient breathing. Second, we feel it on the earlobe. Okay, the warm air coming out, and we keep our eye at the chest level whether the patient's chest is moving or not. Okay, so this technique is called as look, listen and feel. We look for the chest movement, we listen for the patient breathing, and we feel for the warm air that is coming out of the patient's mouth on our earlobe, right? That is look, listen and feel. Suppose if the patient is not breathing, CPR वाले part आ गया. So chest compressions तो मैंने बता दिया, 100 to 120 compressions per minute. Now the ratio at which we are supposed to give mouth to mouth breathing, that is 30:1. Okay, so suppose 120 compressions per minute, so we have to give 4 breaths in 1 minute. Okay, now when we give breath, पूरी ताकत से blow नहीं करना है. Okay, reason we intend to force the air into the larynx, into the trachea, into the lungs, right? बस larynx के पीछे there is something called as esophagus. Esophagus is connected to the stomach. Suppose we apply too much air pressure, बहुत सारा pressure लगा दिया, that air is pushed into the stomach. In stomach we have, suppose patient just खाना खा के आया अच्छे से, now we push air into the stomach. Now stomach में air है तो जो content है it is pushed upwards, regurgitation, हाँ, and that might go into the larynx and trachea and patient might asphyxiate. Simple है ना? So we have to apply pressure but not that much कि we push the stomach content upwards. Okay, we don't want the regurgitation to occur. समझ आया इतना? Okay, so we have completed the P part, C part, position, circulation, airway, breathing. Now we come to definite. Okay, किसी को पता है कौन है definite भैया? Okay, so in definite what we do is patient बेहोश है, so we use something called as aromatic ammonia. There are ready-made ampules available. You just break it and place it over the patient's just below the patient's nose. अब what it does is it causes irritation of the mucosal membrane, okay, of the nose and the and the esophagus. And those irritations if the patient comes regains back consciousness. Okay. Now यहाँ पे we have the vials, जैसे LA की vials होती हैं उसी में भर के रखते हैं. So what we can do is we can soak the gauze in that and we place it just below the patient's nose and patient when the patient breathes होश में आ जाएगा. हमने तो होश में होके एक बार ट्राई किया हुआ है, बहुत बेकार होता है. Anyways, of course you should try everything. Okay. Now so we soak the gauze or pads in ammonia and we administer to the patient like the patient breathes in the aromatic ammonia fumes. Okay, now there are already prefabricated aromatic ammonia pads, inhalation pads, so you can use those also. Okay, so one of the symptoms of syncope is bradycardia. Force of contraction and number of contraction is reduced, so number of beats per minute is reduced, that is bradycardia. So suppose if the bradycardia still persists at this point, you are supposed to give atropine 0.6 mg and you have to repeat it every 5 minutes जब तक the heartbeats they reach normal level. Okay. Suppose if you think the patient is not the heartbeat, the pulse is not coming back to normal level, ask your assistant to immediately call for help. Hospital या ambulance बुलाओ, patient को भेजो hospital. You are not well equipped. Clinic में एक limit तक you can manage a medical condition. Okay. So this was vasovagal syncope, pathophysiology and management. Now we come to the third part, how to avoid it. So इसमें क्या है? It is all because of stress, right? स्ट्रेस एलिमिनेट करोगे तो पेशेंट ठीक रहेगा. ओके, सो फॉलो द एंजाइटी स्ट्रेस रिडक्शन प्रोटोकॉल, टॉक टू द पेशेंट, मेक श्योर द पेशेंट हैज़ अ प्रॉपर मील बिफोर कमिंग टू द क्लिनिक. ओके, and again same points of that stress reduction protocol. Okay, and the important part is keep in mind the gender and age of the patient. Okay, now gender, I'll give you an example. What is the possibility कि सामने यहाँ पे अभी छिपकली आ जाएगी, लड़कियाँ चिल्लाएंगी? There's a good possibility. And लड़के, okay, I'll tell you मैं क्यों पूछ रहा हूँ. Now the girls, they have been groomed in such a way they openly express their emotions. So whatever psychological stress is there, it relieves. वो निकल जाता है बाहर. Whereas हम we suppress that. Okay, so females का response ये रहता है when they have any stress, openly expressing emotions. Okay, so and the response of males is मैं मर दूँ, right? So what happens is that psychological stress, it is built up in the brain, in the mind. Okay, and that leads to vasovagal syncope, and that is why vasovagal syncope is more common in males as compared to females. Okay, it is a good thing तुम लोगों के लिए. Then we come to the age. Now a younger patient, आप लोगों में से कितने डेंटल ट्रीटमेंट करवा चुके हो? कितने सारे, कितने अपॉइंटमेंट्स हुए हैं? एक ऐसे है ना, यू डोंट, सो ये बैच का यू डोंट हैव मच ऑफ एन एक्सपीरियंस विद द डेंटल ट्रीटमेंट, एलए भी नहीं लिया होगा बहुत लोगों ने, है ना. Whereas an older patient, suppose 60 years, 70 years, there is a high possibility कि 70 की एज तक आते आते कुछ तो डेंटल ट्रीटमेंट उन्होंने करा हो, 3-4 बार विजिट हुई होगी, सो दे आर मोर एक्सपीरियंस्ड, ओके, एंड दे हैव सीन far worse thing, okay, so they have seen bad things, they have experienced dental treatment पहले भी, so they are more experienced, so they can cope up with this stress more, okay, as compared to a younger individual. So vasovagal syncope is more common in young individuals as compared to older individuals. Common sense? Okay? ये कौन है, बताएगा कोई? तुम लोगों को नहीं पता है? देखा हुआ. Of course देखा हुआ है. He's Tom Hanks. My favorite actor. Okay? ढूंढना. Castaway, The Terminal, नहीं देखी होगी, या फिर the recent one Sully, The Terminal. इसकी एक भी मूवी मुझे बेकार नहीं लगती है. एनीवेज वी कम टू द टॉपिक अगेन. ओके, सपोज यू वांट टू प्रिवेंट द सिंकोप. ओके, पेशेंट को स्ट्रेस हो गया, तुमने फॉलो किया, फिर भी स्ट्रेस रिडक्शन प्रोटोकॉल फॉलो किया, बट स्टिल द पेशेंट हैज स्ट्रेस. सो यू हैव टू आइडेंटिफाई दैट द पेशेंट इज गोइंग इनटू सिंकोप. वो कब होगा? यू आइडेंटिफाई देयर इज समथिंग कॉल्ड एज बिफोर, जस्ट बिफोर सिंकोप देयर इज समथिंग कॉल्ड एज प्री सिंकोपल स्टेज. ओके, if you identify the signs and symptoms of this stage, you will be able to prevent the patient from going into syncope. Okay, यहीं पे आप ट्रीटमेंट रोक दोगे. You start talking to the patient better, patient को ग्लूकोज दो. Okay, make the patient lie down, जो हमने पोजीशन बात की थी. The head should be at the level of the heart and feet elevated. So before the patient goes into the syncope, we are managing it and the patient doesn't go into the syncope. हमने पहले इसको रिवर्स कर दिया. Okay, so what are the symptoms? Dizziness, lightheadedness, blurry vision, narrowed vision, nausea, headache, sweating, ये सब देखा जाए तो बहुत सारी मेडिकल इमरजेंसीज में आने वाला है. तो ये सारे याद कर लो, सब में डाल देना. Okay, okay, so you just recognize pre-syncope stage and prevent it from furthering into the syncope stage. That's it. This is how you prevent it. And why did we talk about this? Vasovagal age and gender. You need to be more careful with male patients and younger patients. Okay, जैसा मैंने पहले बताया, if you keep looking for a complication, वो नहीं होगी. As soon as you are confident, अरे कुछ नहीं होगा, complication होगी. Okay, so keep your knowledge up to date and keep on lookout of the complication. Now we come to second medical emergency that I have experienced the most. खुद नहीं, I've seen the patients a lot. हाँ, come. Okay, now we come to the second part, क्योंकि this is something that I have seen a lot in the UG girls of Pacific. Personal experience during my post-graduation days, during my faculty days, I've seen a lot of girls having hyperventilation. Okay, so it is just hyperventilation क्या है? It is just abnormally high ventilation. Ventilation क्या है? We take in oxygen, we take out carbon dioxide. Okay, so excessive carbon dioxide is removed from the body. So that leads to increase in pH. Okay, now pH increase हो गया, so there are cations in the body, negative ions, remember. So we have calcium, positive ions in the body, so cations combine to calcium, and reduction in calcium will lead to some symptoms. अभी हम बात करेंगे. Let's not move too ahead. So anyways, as I mentioned, hyperventilation कैसे होगा? But either the patient is going to breathe rapidly or the depth of respiration is increased, या फिर both are there. Okay, so just the removal of carbon dioxide is at a faster rate, and I would say 99% of the time patient is conscious. Okay, and how do we prevent it? First of all, this hyperventilation occurs when the patient starts breathing at a faster rate or a depth of respiration is increased. ये कब होगा? When the patient is in stress. Okay, so how do we prevent it? Just remove the stress. Proper stress reduction protocol is there, then hyperventilation नहीं होगा. Okay, so calcium, जैसा मैंने बताया, decreased carbon dioxide, partial pressure of carbon dioxide is reduced in blood, so that leads to increase in pH, that leads to binding of the calcium ions. Okay, समझ आ रहा है? Because increased pH is increase in negative ions, calcium is positive, Ca2+, So it binds. Okay, so freely available calcium is not available in the blood. Okay, so now this calcium is it controls the excitability of the nerves. Okay, nerves, and in turn to the muscles. Okay, so if if calcium is reduced in the blood, yes, जाओ. So कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड अगर रिड्यूस हो गया ब्लड में, it leads to reduction in calcium ions. Okay, calcium. So that leads to excitability of the nerves and in turns excitability of the muscles. Twitching होगा. Patient might have tetany. There is something called as carpopedal tetany. हाथ ऐसे हो जाते हैं. I've seen actual patients जिनको ऐसे symptoms हैं. समझ आया इतना? Okay, of course, in this condition, patient will have tachycardia, and increased blood pressure because there is increased catecholamines in this condition. So epinephrine and norepinephrine are there. So increased blood pressure will be there, tachycardia will be there. अब tachycardia के बाद क्या क्या रहेगा? These are the symptoms: palpitation, tachycardia, precordial pain, dizziness, lightheadedness. Tetany, numbing and tingling sensation because nerve endings are hyperexcitable. So patient will have these symptoms. Okay. So most common what I have seen is tremor, stiffness, and carpopedal tetany, and the patient having difficulty in breathing. That's what the patient is saying. Jabki condition has occurred because the patient was breathing too well. Okay. So we come to the management part. What is PCABD? We've already talked about PCAB. Okay, if the patient is conscious, position whatever the patient is in is comfortable. If the patient is unconscious, तो जो position हमने discuss की हुई है. Okay, same with circulation, airway and breathing. Okay, now we come to definite भैया. Okay, so what is the problem यहाँ पे? The carbon dioxide is removed from the blood at a fast. Excessive oxygen is removed. Okay, so there is less. Sorry, मैं mix up कर दिया. There is less carbon dioxide in the blood. Okay. तो क्या करेंगे? We just need to increase the carbon dioxide in the blood to reverse the condition. So what are we breathing in? Oxygen. We breathe out carbon dioxide. Suppose whatever we breathe out, we again take in. क्या होगा? We are delivering in more carbon dioxide while breathing, right? So we ask the patient to breathe out into a glove or a paper bag or a polythene bag. और वही again take in. Okay? क्या होगा? That will lead to increase in partial pressure of carbon dioxide and reversing of hyperventilation. Simple, है ना? How to prevent it? Remove stress. And how to manage it? Just increase the carbon dioxide pressure in the body, partial pressure. Huh? Now we come to the next part, acute adrenal insufficiency. Any idea what this is? बोलो बोलो बिंदास. गलत आंसर दिया तो भी चलेगा. That is actually secondary. So let me explain. Acute means sudden. Adrenal gland. Adrenal insufficiency means adrenal glands are not working at an optimal rate. Okay, so suddenly we feel that the adrenal glands are not producing the hormones. Steroids bolo, catecholamines bolo at a required rate. Okay, that is acute adrenal insufficiency. समझ आया इतना? Okay, now again some basics. Do you know what HPA axis is? Hypothalamus pituitary adrenal gland axis. HPA axis. चलो आज बताऊंगा मैं आपको. Hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis. Okay. Now if you remember, under stress our body releases, the adrenal gland releases, sorry, ज़्यादा पानी पी लिया. हाँ, aldosterone, cortisol, epinephrine, norepinephrine, right? है ना? So now we are concerned with cortisol. बाकी सब भूल जाओ. Okay? We are concerned with cortisol. Now when the patient is under stress, cortisol is released, right? To cope up with the stress. So cortisol क्या करता है? It increases the blood sugar level, right? Now this adrenal gland, it doesn't release the cortisol automatically. खुद नहीं करता. It gets the stimulation. Okay, it gets the stimulation from pituitary gland. Pituitary gland releases ACTH, corticotrophic hormone. Okay, so ACTH goes to the adrenal gland and says भाई stress है, release करो, cortisol release करो, stress नहीं. Okay, so it gets the impulse from the pituitary gland releases ACTH and in turn stimulates the adrenal gland to release cortisol, right? Now once the required amount of cortisol is achieved, once the required amount of cortisol in the blood is achieved, it gets the negative feedbacks and it sends a signal to the pituitary gland कि भाई बंद करो, है ना, बंद करो ये अत्याचार. So this is the simple cycle एक तरह से. Okay, when there is increased demand of cortisol, ACTH is released, adrenal gland releases cortisol, and through negative feedback mechanism, ACTH is blocked. Okay, simple, but this is not the complete axis. अभी और है. Again, after negative feedback mechanism, ACTH is blocked. Okay, now again the same thing, ACTH is released, adrenal gland release cortisol, and once the appropriate levels are achieved, parotid gland stops the production of ACTH, and hence adrenal gland stops the production of cortisol. Okay, this is a cycle. Okay. But remember this is not responsible for the sharp rise in cortisol when the blood is when the body is under stress. Okay, वो कब होता है? Again the same thing जो cycle मैंने बताई. There's another player in the picture. We have the hypothalamus. Okay, hypothalamus, it releases a hormone called as corticotrophin releasing hormone. अब यहाँ से भी ACTH release करने के लिए दूसरा hormone आता है. Okay, so hypothalamus releases CRH. And it tells the pituitary gland by there is stress, release ACTH. So ACTH is released. अरे पीछे जाओ. हाँ. So ACTH is released and the adrenal gland they release cortisol. And through the negative feedback mechanism, the release of ACTH and CRH are blocked. Okay. It goes to this also and this also. Okay. दोनों once the required amount is achieved, both the things CRH and ACTH they both are blocked. समझ आया? That is negative feedback mechanism. This is HPA axis. Again, अरे I forgot. हाँ, जाने दो. Okay, suppose ये you remember this cycle. Okay, negative feedback when there is increased demand ACTH, then cortisol and blockage. Okay, now suppose there's already enough level of steroids in the body. Okay, for some conditions like autoimmune diseases. Okay, या फिर organ transplant हुआ है. For whatever reason, patient is already on steroid therapy, exogenous steroid therapy. Okay, this is cortisol is endogenous. Endogenous in the one that is produced inside the body, whereas exogenous the one that is produced outside the body. Okay, suppose the patient is already on a exogenous steroid therapy. So what happens? There is no ACTH produced because there is already normal levels of steroids, cortisol present in the body, right? So no ACTH. So adrenal gland क्या बोलता है? अपना कुछ काम नहीं है. It shrinks. It is called as disuse. I forgot the name यार. Hypertrophy तो नहीं होता. I forgot the name. But it shrinks in size and its function reduces. It is not to that optimum level. Okay, so it shrinks in size. So suppose suddenly we stop this. Okay, and there is increased demand of, there is stress. Suppose ACTH आएगा भी, but this will not work because it has shrunken in size and the function has gone down. Okay. Again, when there is stress, hypothalamus releases CRH and CRH causes releases of ACTH. But because of the exogenous steroids, this adrenal gland disuse atrophy. Yes, I was saying hypertrophy. So disuse atrophy of the adrenal gland is there. So it is not able to release any endogenous cortisol, endogenous steroid. Okay. Now under normal condition, इसमें कुछ issue नहीं आएगा because under normal condition the requirement of the cortisol is not that much, but under stress it is suddenly spiked. That's when this is not able to produce the optimum level, the required levels of cortisol. समझ आया इतना? So this is how that was of HPA axis. Now this is the failure of HPA axis. Okay, because of exogenous exogenous cortisol. What is this? Okay, so now we come to an important part. अभी आपको समझ आएगा क्यों है. Now suppose if the patient receives exogenous steroids, that is cortisone. Okay, exogenous cortisol, synthetic cortisol is called as cortisone. Okay, so if the patient receives cortisone at the dose of 20 mg per day, but for duration more than 2 weeks, okay, then that leads to disuse atrophy of the adrenal glands. Okay, but if suppose we stop this, okay, there's already disuse atrophy of the adrenal gland, but the studies have shown that the adrenal gland can regain its function, but approximately it takes around 2 years to regain its full normal function. Okay, so if the patient takes 20 mg per day dosage for more than 2 weeks, the glands go into disuse atrophy, and it will take around 2 years to regain its original function. Okay, so this is how we develop the rule of 2. So now when what is rule of 2? Any idea? Okay, so suppose if the patient has received this dosage 20 mg of steroids, cortisone in this case, be specific, 20 mg of cortisone, okay, for more than 2 weeks within 2 years, then we double the dosage of the patient's steroid therapy just before the surgery, so that there is sufficient amount of steroids in the patient's blood. समझ आया है ना? Because the adrenal glands are not able to secrete the steroid to the required amount. Okay, okay, same thing within 2 years, doubled pre-operatively. This is how you prevent acute adrenal insufficiency if you follow the rule of 2, and that too along with stress reduction protocol. क्यों? Because acute adrenal insufficiency occurs because of stress, है ना? If you reduce the stress, तब होगा ही नहीं, and then just in case अगर होने भी वाला होगा, you follow the rule of 2, there won't be any acute adrenal insufficiency. समझ आया? Okay. Now remember this, अभी हमने जो 20 mg per day dose बात करी, that was cortisone. Okay, but there are other steroids that we use: hydrocortisone, prednisolone, methylprednisolone, triamcinolone, dexamethasone. Okay, so these are not the same. Okay, 20 mg of dexamethasone won't have the same effect as 20 mg of the cortisone. In fact, it will have way higher results, way higher effect on the body. Okay, so we need to know the comparable, the equivalent dosage of the all these steroids. So 20 mg cortisone के equivalent are these doses. Okay, so if the patient is taking, one second, if the patient is taking 16 mg cortisone, okay, for more than 2 weeks in the last 2 years, then we'll double the dosage of the patient's therapy. जो भी 16 mg चल रहा है तो उसको हम double करेंगे. So यहाँ पे rule of 2 is for cortisone, but we need to know the equivalent dosage. याद करने की जरूरत नहीं है, लिख के रखो, बुक में नहीं. When you are at a clinic, even I don't remember all these values. Okay, इतनी सारी values कौन याद करेगा? But I have it on my phone just in case मुझे जरूरत पड़े तो I can refer it. Okay, समझ आया? But you need to know this point कि ऐसा है, and I guess इसके पहले आपको पता भी नहीं होगा. पता था? So you need to know this point कि 20 mg is cortisone, not these dosages. So you can see 20 mg cortisone is equivalent to 0.75 mg of dexamethasone. समझ रहे हो? तो 20 mg dexamethasone देंगे तो क्या होगा? उतने की जरूरत नहीं for sure. Again, now we come to the management part. We have already discussed P, C, A, B. Now we come to बोलो definite भाई. So why did this acute adrenal insufficiency occur? Less amount of steroid in blood. तो कुछ नहीं, steroid दे दो पेशेंट को और क्या. 100 mg hydrocortisone, IV or IM. IV is always preferable in case of emergency because it is directly added into the blood, whereas IM या oral देंगे तो it has to go through. In fact, IV IM, it will also be absorbed in blood, but it will take around 15-20 minutes maximum. Okay, so IV is preferable. 100 mg should be given over a duration of 30 seconds, slow. एकदम स्लो देना होता है, व्हाट वी डू इन लोकल एनेस्थीसिया वो भी स्लो करना होता है. ओके, नाउ वी हैव टू रिपीट द डोसेज एवरी 8 आवर इफ रिक्वायर्ड, and if hydrocortisone is not available we have to use dexamethasone 12 mg IV. Okay. Now remember, always try to give hydrocortisone, and if it is not available then give dexamethasone. Why hydrocortisone is preferable? Because it is short acting. The effect of hydrocortisone will be immediate, whereas dexamethasone is slow acting but longer duration of action is there. There is a difference. Okay, that is why hydrocortisone is preferred. Now there will be hypotension. So hypotension है तो क्या, increase the blood volume. So patient को दे दो dextrose solution or normal saline to maintain the blood pressure. Okay, over a period of 1 hour. Now we come to chest pain. Last है तो chest pain. What are the conditions? हमने अभी बात की थी, angina and myocardial infarction. Now remember this, angina pain especially, it can occur in both, even a bodybuilder, even an old patient. Okay, exercise कर रहे हैं, excessive कर लिया, and the body, the heart is not able to meet its demand, oxygen demand, then it can lead to angina pain. Okay, but we'll talk about all these things in later on. Now again some basics. This is myocardium. Heart is basically a muscle, myocardium, right? So it works throughout your life. It doesn't stop. एक भी बार stop होगा तो आप यहाँ नहीं होगे, है ना? So it requires constant blood supply. Okay, and the blood supply is from the coronary artery, left and right coronary artery. They are the branches of the aorta. Okay. Now remember, there is a constant balance between the oxygen, the blood supply to the heart. Okay, the myocardium and the demand. Okay. जितनी डिमांड होती है, इफ वी इंक्रीज द डिमांड ग्रेजुअली, फॉर एग्जांपल जो प्रोफेशनल एथलीट्स होते हैं, दे डोंट जस्ट स्टार्ट रनिंग, सपोज रनिंग की बात करें तो दे डोंट जस्ट स्टार्ट रनिंग 20 किलोमीटर्स फ्रॉम द फर्स्ट डे, दे ग्रेजुअली इंक्रीज इट टू द पॉइंट, है ना. सो द बॉडी एंड द हार्ट इज एबल टू कोप अप विद दिस इंक्रीज डिमांड, स्लोली इट इंक्रीजेस. ओके, सो सपोज सडनली इफ यू स्टार्ट रनिंग 20 किलोमीटर्स, द डिमांड इज इंक्रीज बट द बॉडी इज नॉट एबल टू कोप अप. सो heart has to work, heart has to pump the blood out to the skeletal muscles to work. Okay, but heart की खुद की muscles को, myocardium को, there is no adequate blood supply. Okay, it is not able to adapt, so that will lead to pain. Okay, we'll talk about all this. इतना समझ आया? That is in normal condition. This is not any pathology. This is physiological. Okay, normal condition में suddenly just the workload is increased, demand is increased, but the supply is not there, तो हो जाएगा. Suppose in case there is no demand, not excess demand, but the supply for some reason reduces. In case of myocardial infarction, there is blockage of the artery, coronary artery. So blood supply कम हो गई, but the demand is same. Still the patient को pain होगा. समझ आया? Okay. Okay, मैंने ये सारा पहले बोल दिया. So at rest the oxygen demand of the myocardium is less. And in stress the body goes into fight and flight response, so oxygen demand is increased. Okay, currently we are talking about myocardium, and the myocardium, the heart has the job to supply the blood to all the skeletal muscles for the fight and flight. Okay, but uske liye the heart has to work properly, the myocardium has to work properly. Okay, so currently we are talking about myocardium. Okay. So at rest there is low oxygen demand, but in stress, even if it is physical or a psychological stress, the demand for oxygen is high. Okay, so we remember उससे क्या, normal condition में the body increases the blood pressure. Remember peripheral vasoconstriction, क्या क्या किस किस से होता है बताओ? Aldosterone and epinephrine, norepinephrine. What is the function of aldosterone? Water retention in kidney. So it increases the blood volume, whereas epinephrine and norepinephrine, peripheral vasoconstriction, force of contraction and number of contractions, that is heartbeats per minute. Okay, so that is increased, and that leads to increase in blood pressure. Okay, and that blood pressure leads to higher perfusion of the myocardium also. Okay, in normal condition. So if a person gradually increases, in case of workout, if the person gradually increases the weight over a period of few weeks, so the body and the myocardium is able to cope up. It is able to increase its own blood supply over a period of time. So it is able to cope up. Okay, you can see demand बढ़ रही है, the oxygen supply also increases. Okay, बट सपोज फॉर सम रीज़न वर्कआउट करने वाले बंदे को जोश आ गया कि भाई आज तो मारना है खूब, बट बॉडी इज नॉट एबल टू कोप अप, सो डिमांड इज सडनली इंक्रीज्ड बट ब्लड सप्लाई एक लेवल तक बढ़ेगा बट इट वोंट गो अप टू द रिक्वायर्ड लेवल, सो द गाय इज नॉर्मल बट स्टिल ही हैज पेन. ओके, in case of this was physical stress, niche wala example. This is psychological stress. In that case also the patient might have some anginal pain. Okay. Understood? Again, common sense. Okay. So this is called as stable angina or angina pectoris. Okay. Now हमने अभी बैलेंस की बात करी. For some reason the demand increases but supply doesn't increase. That's when we have stable angina. Okay. Now, for some reason, we have the demand doesn't increase, supply reduces. Okay, so that is the condition called as unstable angina or myocardial infarction. I'll explain. So, in case of high cholesterol levels, there is deposition of cholesterol in the blood vessel walls. Okay, so this coronary artery gets blocked. If it is partially blocked, okay, so partially blocked है, पूरी तरह से blocked नहीं. So if the patient is walking, there is slight increase. If you're sitting, there's no much oxygen demand. But if you start walking, there is slight increase in oxygen demand. So even a simple activity like walking slightly increases the oxygen demand of myocardium. And this blocked artery is not able to supply that. Okay, so that will lead to pain, chest pain, and that is unstable angina. Whereas if there is complete blockage, that will lead to necrosis of the muscle cells. Okay, myofibrils. So there is total cell death. Okay. No, I forgot to mention this. The muscles, the myocardium, it relies on aerobic oxidation. Okay, it generates ATP and then it uses that. Suppose in case of there is no sufficient oxygen supply, it then switches to anaerobic metabolism. Okay, anaerobic metabolism में it shifts and वो भी ज़्यादा देर तक नहीं टिक पाते हैं. Reason being, the result of anaerobic metabolism is lactic acid. Okay, now जो पेन होता है पेशेंट को यहाँ पे, it is similar to this. Of course, इसमें intensity ज़्यादा होगी, but patient also have pain in this. Okay, so the pain per se is not because of this cell death. Okay, the pain is because of the deposition of lactic acid. Okay, it is not because of the cell death. पेन सिमिलर है, बस वहाँ पे इंटेंसिटी ज़्यादा होगी, बट द पेन इज बिकॉज ऑफ द डेपोजिशन ऑफ द लैक्टिक एसिड, दैट इज द रिजल्ट ऑफ बाय प्रोडक्ट ऑफ anaerobic metabolism. Okay, so that is not sustainable. So in this case, oxygen demand has not increased too much. बस patient चल रहा है तो slightly increase in oxygen demand was there, but oxygen supply has reduced because of the decreased supply to the myocardium. There is partial blockage or complete blockage of the coronary arteries. Okay, समझ आया इतना? So we have three conditions: stable angina, that is also called as angina pectoris. We have unstable angina. We have myocardial infarction. There's one more thing. एक और तरह का angina है. Do you guys know? अच्छा, चलो, I'll give you example. For some reason, there's no blockage. Okay, for some reason the artery goes into spasm. Collapse बोल सकते हो, but it is more of a spasm because the smooth muscle they go into spasm, leading to narrowing of the blood vessel wall. Animation है, so you can see it goes into spasm and there is narrowing of the vessel wall. So अब यहाँ से the blood coming through this area is reduced. Okay, so there is no pathology ऐसे तो, there is no blockage, but sudden spasm is there. So that leads to pain, anginal pain. Okay, this condition where the muscle suddenly goes into the spasm, smooth muscles of the artery goes into spasm, leading to compromised blood supply of the myocardium is Prinzmetal's angina. सुना हुआ तो होगा, याद नहीं आया होगा. So we have 4 types of chest pains. Pain तो similar है, the conditions: stable angina, unstable angina, Prinzmetal angina and myocardial infarction. Okay, समझ आया? Now we come to the management part, that is the patient tells you the dreaded words. Okay, I have chest pain. Now, chest pain can occur because of other reasons also. First, you have to rule out other reasons. ऐसा नहीं है directly heart attacks suspect करना. It can be because of gastritis, gas. Okay, so the most common reasons for chest pain is gastritis, trauma and ischemic heart diseases, that is angina or myocardial infarction. Now I'm sure you guys are not dumb enough कि आपके सामने patient को stab हुआ है और आपको पता ना चले, right? So there will be obvious stab injury to the patient. In case of gastritis, and this let me see, the sharp shooting pain is there in case of gastritis, and in case of trauma, because of blood loss, there might be hypotension, and in case of trauma and gastritis, the pain exacerbate on slight movement, whereas ये जो myocardial infarction का या angina का pain है already start हो गया, it won't exacerbate on slight movements. Okay, so that is one thing. Now the pain in case of gastritis and trauma is usually sharp shooting pain, stabbing pain, right? आप लोगों को अगर सीवियर गैस्ट्राइटिस हुआ तो एक्सपीरियंस होगा. ओके, सो इन केस ऑफ angina and myocardial infarction, it is more so the pain, the type of pain is like the patient will tell you that something heavy has been put on his chest. Pressure feel होगा उसको. Okay, something like this. Okay, pressure is being felt on the patient's chest. Patient ऐसा explain करेगा. Okay, this is how you differentiate between different types of pain. Second, there won't be any referred pain. Okay, patient को chest में pain है तो वहीं रहेगा, यहाँ पे भी. Whereas in case of anginal pain, there is referred pain that may extend up to the mandible, to the shoulder, to the chest, to the left arm, and very rarely right shoulder also. Okay, left arm में भी medial surface रहेगा. समझ आया? And there will be, in case of cardiac chest pain, IHD chest pain, there will be something called as Levine sign. जो पुरानी मूवीज में देखे ना, सारे बाप अगर बच्चे बात नहीं सुनते तो हार्ट अटैक आ जाता है ऐसे पकड़ के. That is Levine sign. Okay, ये पुराने बाप हैं मूवीज के. So we have already discussed about PCAB again, तो मैं नहीं जाऊंगा. We go for definite. Okay, so definite में क्या करेंगे? There is reduced oxygen to the myocardium. We give oxygen to the patient. We increase the oxygen supply to the blood. So we increase the oxygen concentration in the blood. So जितना भी blood पहुंच रहा है myocardium में, so we increase the oxygen concentration of the blood. So we increase the oxygen supply to the myocardium. Okay, समझ आया? That is one. Suppose it is angina pain. So we give nitroglycerin. Now nitroglycerin क्या करता है? It causes a generalized vasodilation. Okay, so if there is spasm or सपोज जो नॉर्मल कंडीशन में था, सडन इंक्रीज इन डिमांड, एक्सरसाइज कर रहे हैं, है ना. सो इन दैट केस इफ वी गिव नाइट्रोग्लिसरीन, देयर इज डायलेशन ऑफ द कोरोनरी आर्टरीज, देयर इज इंक्रीज ब्लड सप्लाई टू द मायोकार्डियम. ओके, सो द पेन गोज अवे, राइट. ओके, सो दिस इज हाउ यू ट्रीट इट. आपको पहले पता होना चाहिए व्हाई द पेन, व्हाई द इमरजेंसी इज देयर. देयर इज लेस ऑक्सीजन. ओके, व्हाई देयर इज लेस ऑक्सीजन? बिकॉज देयर इज ब्लॉकेज or there is a increased demand. To meet the increased demand, we need to dilate the vessels. Okay, so that is nitroglycerin. समझ आया इतना? Okay, now nitroglycerin we have to repeat it every 5 minutes. Okay, 2 बार repeat करना. If the third time there is no improvement, you have to suspect that it is unstable angina or myocardial infarction. So there is no spasm or there is a blockage. अब वो blockage हम नाइट्रोग्लिसरीन से तो हटा नहीं पाएंगे. So आपको अपने आप को और अपने असिस्टेंट को बोलना है, तुमसे ना हो पाएगा, call the ambulance, refer the patient to the hospital. Okay, simple. Okay. Now how to prevent this chest pain? Of course, again follow stress reduction protocol. अगेन डायसिपाम एक रात पहले देना है, जस्ट बिफोर अपॉइंटमेंट भी देना है, टू रिड्यूस स्ट्रेस. रिड्यूस स्ट्रेस विल लीड टू रिड्यूस ऑक्सीजन डिमांड ऑफ द मायोकार्डियम. ओके, प्रायर हिस्ट्री, अगर सपोज द पेशेंट हैज ऑलरेडी द हिस्ट्री ऑफ अंजाइनल पेन, मोस्टली द पेशेंट विल हैव नाइट्रोग्लिसरीन स्प्रे विद हिम प्रिस्क्राइब बाय हिज फिजिशियन. उसको बोलो लेके आ, इसके साथ करेंगे, ठीक है. एंड देन ऑफ कोर्स प्री ऑफ डोज, अगर इफ़ यू सस्पेक्ट कि होगा एंड द पेशेंट हैज़ अ रीसेंट हिस्ट्री, just give him the dosage of 0.4 mg sublingual and then start the procedure. Okay, and use LA with adrenaline. Now why this? Any idea? Is this correct or not? मैंने तो लिखा है इसलिए सही होगा. Of course, but why? Now let me explain. हाँ, अरे यहाँ पे वेजो कंस्ट्रिक्शन होगा, वही तो हमें नहीं करना है ना. एपिनेफ्रिन इज गोइंग टू कॉज वेसोडाइलेशन. हाँ तो बट हम एड्रेनालिन भी तो दे रहे हैं, इट विल लीड टू वेसो कंस्ट्रिक्शन, सो इट विल नलिफाई द इफेक्ट ऑफ नाइट्रोग्लिसरीन, है ना. लेट मी एक्सप्लेन, मैं बहुत कंफ्यूज कर लिया. ओके, सपोज द पेशेंट, इफ द पेशेंट इज अंडर स्ट्रेस, ओके, क्या रिलीज होता है एड्रेनल ग्लैंड से? कॉर्टिसोल एंड एपिनेफ्रिन, है ना. Currently we are concerned with epinephrine. When the patient is under stress, epinephrine is released from the adrenal cortex, okay, है ना, adrenal gland, right. So body तो epinephrine release कर रही है, but we don't have any control over the amount of epinephrine released from the body, right. So what we do is we want to reduce the stress so that the amount of epinephrine released from the body is reduced. समझ आया? वो कैसे होगा? जब द ड्यूरेशन, सपोज फॉर सम रीजन, आई विल गिव एग्जांपल, सपोज यू यूज अ प्लेन एलए, प्रोसीजर लंबा चल गया हमारा, ओके, एलए इफेक्ट गया, पेशेंट स्टार्ट्स हैविंग पेन, ओके, adrenaline is added to increase the duration of action of LA, right. So suppose we don't use adrenaline, the duration is short, patient starts having pain and he has stress built up, a pain hai, so body starts releasing epinephrine, adrenaline, right. So now we don't have any control over that, and the according to the studies, the amount of epinephrine released by the body, it is at least 10 times what we give to the patient, okay. So we are putting the patient at risk. ये कब हार्ट पे एक्ट करेगा? व्हेन वी गिव एलए इंट्रावैस्कुलरली. इफ वी आर श्योर दैट वी हैव गिवन लोकली, नॉट इन्फिल्ट्रेशन, इवन द ब्लॉक, ओके, वी हैव नॉट डिपॉजिटेड द एलए intravascularly, we have deposited the LA at the site properly, okay. So duration of action of LA is increased, so patient को pain नहीं होगा during the procedure, and the depth of anesthesia is also increased with adrenaline, okay. So क्या होगा उससे? The patient doesn't have pain, okay, patient is comfortable, no stress, so no anginal pain, okay. अगर ज़्यादा adrenaline आया तो patient might go into arrhythmia also, okay. So we are preventing all of that by giving adrenaline ourselves. We are controlling the amount of adrenaline patient is exposed to. समझ आया? हाँ तो बस बाकी वही स्ट्रेस रिडक्शन प्रोटोकॉल, कीप द ड्यूरेशन शॉर्ट एंड हाफ एन आवर एज पॉसिबल, ठीक है, अंडरस्टूड. एंड आई टोल्ड यू हैवी होगा आज का सेशन.